Hello and welcome to the Astro Vegan Cafe. Today we are making pudding or custard or whatever it is that you call it, except that we're not going to have any added fats to it, and it's going to be cornmeal based. It's really delicious. It's super creamy, and you can even use it as a frosting or ganache when it's warm. So before we get started, I want to show you all my shirt that my friend gave me, and it says, "I'm sorry for what I said when I was undercarbed with the potato." I just absolutely love it. Thank you, Kristen. And if you like it, you can get your own in her Cafe Press shop. I'll put a link to the shop underneath it. You can get it on bags or shirts or tote bags and stuff. It looks really good on tote bags in particular, besides looking great on t-shirts. So I'll put the link down there. And now we're going to make custard or pudding. So like I said, it's cornmeal based. I'm using Bob's Red Mill organic polenta corn grits, but I think that you could use any grits. You just don't want to use like cornstarch, just like the thickening agent. So what I have here is I have 1.5 cups of water that I brought to a boil. I have 1/2 cup of polenta, and I'm going to ever so gently, because otherwise it will clump up, put it into the water and stir it continuously. And then once it's all in the water, I'm going to cut it down and just stir it for another minute. And I could sit here and stir it and cook it for 6 or 7 minutes, and it would get really thick and bubbly and like molten lava and be really, really hot. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let it cook for a minute. Then I'm going to stir it, and I'm going to cut it off and just let it finish cooking in its own residual heat for about 1/2 hour, but we'll come back to that in a minute. So while that is cooking for a minute, I also have 3/4 of a cup of water. So 1.5 cups in the pan and 3/4 of a cup in my blender jar. And I'm putting in 7 small dates. If you're using big medjool dates, you probably want to use about half as many, either 3 or 4 or whatever you like. And this will just let them get soft so that they can blend more easily when we go to blend it all up. Okay, so here is the polenta. It's going to start thickening soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut my burner off because I'm not in a hurry, and I'm going to let it sit for about 1/2 hour. And so I will see you in about 1/2 hour or so. Thank you. Okay, welcome back. So what I did was I cooked 1/2 cup of polenta and 1.5 cups of water. When it came to boil, I cut it down and stirred it just a little bit, and then I cut it off the heat and let it sit. It was actually ready in about 10 minutes, but I need to use the pan for something else, so I moved it into this bowl. And now we're going to finish the pudding. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put about 1 teaspoon of vanilla in with the dates. May as well measure it. I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of vanilla in with the dates. And then I'm going to add the polenta, which has gotten very firm. It doesn't have to be this firm. It can be right hot out of the pan. And so it can, basically be, right from the pan as well. This is just, it's been a while, so this has set up. And the pudding's not going to be that firm, because as you see, we've got this extra water in here, so it's going to be a nice pudding texture. So I've put the lid on nice and tight, and I'm going to blend it. You want to blend it until it's absolutely smooth, so you want to blend it for about a full 2 minutes. Okay, so that's been about 2 minutes, and the jar's actually a little warm now. And so you can see that it's a liquid, and it's very, very smooth. I'm going to pour some of it out so you'll be able to see how smooth it is. It's going to set up firmer than this, so right now it's kind of like a creme anglaise. I'm going to pour about 1/3 of it out, so to about there. And you can see that it is pourable. Oops. Okay, so that's about 1/3. And I'm going to pour another 1/3 into this container, because I'm going to make this container peanut butter. I could, well, I'll tell you what I could do in a minute, but I'm not going to do it. But let me do this. I'm the one eating this, so if I was serving this to somebody else, I wouldn't be using my finger. but it's going to be me. Okay, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do with that in a minute, but with this, I'm going to make this bit chocolate. And I'm going to put about 2 teaspoons of cocoa powder in. This is a half a teaspoon, so I'm just going to put 2 heapers in. So we're going to have a vanilla and a chocolate. Let me just wipe this off so it doesn't get too gooky in the machine tracks itself. Okay. We'll pound this on a cloth. Get the remaining pudding down. Okay, so let that sit for a minute. So I've got a vanilla, and here I'm going to make a peanut butter by using some of this just great stuff. It's organic. It's like PB3 if you've ever heard of that, which basically peanut butter with the fat taken out, but this is just an organic version. So I'm putting about a tablespoon into here, and I'm just going to stir it in. I could have put the peanut butter in all the remaining stuff and then poured some of the peanut butter out and then added the cocoa powder and had a chocolate peanut butter. But I thought I would go for straight peanut butter. So you can see it's a very smooth texture. And again, I'm using my finger, but I'm the only one eating this tonight. And then we have a chocolate one, which I'm going to put into this container. Now what's going to happen is within about 10 minutes or so, these are going to be set up, and they're going to be absolutely the consistency of pudding. And then I'm going to layer them with bananas and make a parfait. You can tell by the texture it currently is that you could use this as a pourable ganache and pour it over, for example, vegan brownies. So you could do that with it, and then it would set up to be, you know, a firmer, soft frosting-like consistency. But here, you can see, stir that in a little better, we've got a soft liquid texture. That's absolutely wonderful. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll come back in a few minutes, and once these set in about maybe 10 minutes or so, and I'll make a parfait, and you'll get to see how the texture's changed and how it is a delicious 3-layer pudding. Of course, you could make it, you know, 1 layer or just 1 flavor or different flavors. You could use lemon instead of water and make a lemon pudding, or whatever you care to do. Use lemon pudding with blueberries, for example, would be wonderful. So see you in a few. Thanks. So welcome back. It's been about 10 minutes, and as you can see, these have set up nicely. They're no longer liquid. I did add a little bit more peanut butter to the peanut butter. The tablespoon worked well last time, but this time it didn't seem like quite enough. So, you know, adjust the dates to your taste. You can always add a little bit more sugar. You can always add a little bit more cocoa powder. You know, whatever, however you like it. Definitely make it that way. So I've got a jar here. I'm just going to slice some bananas into it. And put some of the vanilla in. And you can see that we've got a real nice pudding texture. It will get slightly firmer than this in the refrigerator, but not much. It'll be, you know, just right, just like you know, pudding would be. It's still a little bit warm. You can see it's steaming up the jar, so it still has some firming to go. And put some more bananas in. And put some peanut butter in. And once again, you can see that the texture is really, really nice. And then slice in the rest of the banana, or almost the rest. And put the chocolate on the top. And there you have it, an absolutely delicious parfait of 3 different flavor puddings. Could be 1 flavor, 3 flavors, 2 flavors, whatever you want to do, with or without bananas. It's so good. All of these are so good, and the peanut butter is super fun. And there's really nothing like vanilla pudding, oops, and bananas. So I totally recommend not overlooking vanilla. So anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and see you later. Bye-bye.